My girlfriend 22 hid things from me 23 and I got to know after 1 year of dating. About a year back, me and my girlfriend went out on a couple of dates and started seeing each other. I was out of town for a couple of days and she hooked up with someone in the meantime while telling me that she was missing me. After a couple of months we started dating officially. I get to know about her hookup after a year while I was going through her phone. Upon being asked, she tells me that she was scared of losing me and that it would ruin things between us. I'm not mad at the fact that she hooked up with someone, but at least I deserve to know that it happened. I deserve to know from her, not by myself. I understand she wasn't answerable to me back then, but I really feel betrayed. Please suggest. Story 2. Am I F20 blowing this whole communication issue with my girlfriend F21 out of proportion? Long read, but truly need the third-party advice. Hi guys. This might be a long one, but I would truly appreciate some advice. For background, I F20 have been dating my girlfriend F21 for about 2 years. She is my first adult relationship. I have one ex, but it was puppy love kind of thing, and because of that we have grown a lot together. We don't live together, but we spend half the week together when school schedules allow. We do all of the relationship stuff, and I'd say without a doubt she's my top priority. Because I had a small glimpse of relationship life before her, I learned how I want a relationship to be and how to treat the person I'm with. I want to feel respected, supported, told the truth, and understood, so I put in a lot of effort to make sure she feels that way with me, and I feel very proud of myself for trying to be the best I can for her. Honesty is huge for me. I wanted to make sure honesty was a big thing for us so she knows everything about me, and generally I feel like I get the same back from her, which is great. Obviously we're both not perfect, and our opposite personalities can cause tension, but most of the time we are able to bounce back in a healthy way. One thing about us is that we grew up very differently. We both had a lot of emotional strain in our childhoods, but based on what she's told me and from what I've seen, she went through a lot of emotional and verbal abuse that sometimes still happens to this day. Because of this, she didn't learn early on how to properly communicate. Communication is something I pride myself on because it was hard for me to unlearn the bad habits from my own childhood, but I finally achieved that goal. I always try to approach any miscommunication on her part with empathy because I know she's still learning, but sometimes it leads to me feeling like I have to always show complete grace, and that means after arguments I often feel misunderstood, cast aside, and made to be the bad guy for expressing that she's hurt me. I know she doesn't handle being confronted about her behavior well, so I always try to be reassuring during and after arguments, even if that argument was a result of her behavior instead of mine. I don't always get that in return, but I try to just remind myself she's still learning. Here's the most recent thing I need advice on. She has had more partners than I have, boys and girls alike, and in complete honesty I can say that doesn't bug me. Your past is your past and it's what made you you. The only thing for me is that I want to know about it, but especially if they're still in your life. She isn't really one to cut people off, so I've come to learn that a lot of people she currently talks to are people she's had situationships with or hooked up with in the past. It was definitely something that left me with a weird feeling in my chest, simply because I'm used to people cutting off past relationships when they're in a new one. As for her, she's easily able to detach from that and just continue on with friendship with those people. That's not a bad thing, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me uncomfortable. The reason I am isn't because I think she's gonna cheat on me or something, it's just because she communicates with these people quite often. They always talk on socials and play video games together, which means they talk a lot because my girl is a huge gamer. Sometimes, she talks to them even more than she talks to me, and that's where the uncomfortable feeling comes in for me because they communicate so much in different ways and they have a history. My first question is, am I wrong for feeling uncomfortable even though she says there's nothing there? I would ask my friends, but they're not impartial lol, so I need third-party opinions. The first time it happened, it was a guy who she had history with, but she didn't tell me about it until months in. I thought they were just friends, but apparently they had both been pretty interested in each other, and he still was to this day. I felt upset that she kept that detail from me for so long, but I tried to ignore it. They talked constantly, to the point where I'd be at her house waiting to hang out, but she'd be on the game with him for so long talking that I'd fall asleep. I told her I felt weird about it, but she said not to worry, so I took her word for it. Eventually something happened where they got mad at each other and stuff, so they haven't talked since. But I know that was the reason she stopped talking to him, not because I felt upset a little about it. This is where it gets a little harder. She also has another friend, we'll call him 2, and I've known about him M21 since I first started dating her. I liked him, they were good friends and good gaming buddies. In this case, she also talked to him about the same amount as the first guy. I wasn't as wary of that because I knew they were just friends. A couple months passed and she ended up telling me that they kissed one time when she was visiting her brother. Both two and her brother live close by. I was a little upset because she didn't tell me for so long. She explained that it was a one-time thing and it was just mutual attraction instead of like desire to be together in a relationship, so I didn't feel too weird. I did feel upset that she didn't tell me about that though, because it felt like their friendship was on a level a little higher than I thought. I let it go, but that did bother me. Fast forward to a few days ago, and we were talking about our past. She mentioned that she had been with two guys before, but as far as she had told me, it was just one. I asked her who, and she said she didn't remember. My gut told me that that wasn't the full truth, so I asked her again. She got really shifty and awkward, and eventually after a few minutes told me it was two. I didn't yell or get angry, but I did feel really upset because so felt lied to. She told me they kissed but left out that bigger detail, and I asked her why when she could have just told the truth. She just kept saying she forgot. It was hard for me to believe because they're close to this day, and I find it hard to understand how you just forget you hooked up with a friend, especially when we had a discussion about it before. I felt like she was omitting details and it made me feel lied to. She kept saying she forgot, but when I asked more questions she got really mad at me and said I should just trust her. She never wavered from her story and I apologized for asking so many questions because she said she felt grilled and that I didn't trust her word. I didn't mean it that way, but this new information coming up so late in the game made me see her relationship with this guy differently and made me feel like I was kept in the dark. Because this happened before too, it did make me feel extra hurt that it would happen again, but she said she can't help that she forgot. When I tried explaining why I felt upset, she said it wasn't a big deal because it was the past and kept saying my opinion about it was confusing and made no sense. We've since gotten better, but it left me feeling off and sort of gaslit and I don't know how to make it go away. So, long story short, am I wrong for feeling this way? Am I doing too much or is it valid to be upset? If I need tough love, please send it my way. Update: my F20 girlfriend F21 broke a mutual boundary of ours. How do I approach it going forward? I F20 have been dating my girlfriend F21 for almost 2 years. We are pretty much perfect together, but we have pretty different personalities. I see things deeply and she's more nonchalant. Last year, she had this one friend, we'll call him Brian, that she talked to a lot. He had been pretty bogus in the past to her. She made it clear she didn't like him and he decided he would go and tell everyone they knew that she came on to him and wanted him even though we were together. Eventually he apologized and they became friends again, and they continued talking a lot. They talked to each other online more than anyone else. You can see that on Snapchat and all that stuff, and when they weren't talking online they were on Xbox, which means they were talking all day long. It got to the point I'd be over waiting to spend time with her, but she'd be on Xbox with him for so long that I'd be asleep by the time she finished up. Eventually, she told me how once they liked each other, never dated though, and it made me feel weird that she waited for so long to tell me that information. I wouldn't have been upset, but it really hurts when my partner omits or lies about something like that. After they fell off again, she said she understood my perspective, that she talked to him so much and had never once told me the reality of their relationship, and I thought that was that. Fast forward to a few days ago. We were driving home talking about all sorts of things, and she ended up mentioning that she had had 3 partners in the past instead of the 2 I knew about. I asked her who, and she said she didn't remember. I thought that was strange, so I asked again. She got really shy and avoidant, but after I asked a 3rd time she told me it was a different friend, we'll call him Tyler. Now, I had known about this friend since we started dating. Just like with Brian, they talked pretty often and also played Xbox often together. She had even told me that they kissed once a while ago, but they had no further interest in each other than that simple kiss, so I didn't care at all simply because she was honest about it. She told me that's all it was, but now months later I find out they were intimate with each other. When I asked why she didn't tell me the full story when she had the chance, she said she just forgot. I found that hard to believe. How do you forget that you had an intimate event with someone, especially when that person is your brother's best friend and you talk to them every day? I felt like forgetting didn't add up, and I asked her more questions because she knew how I feel about honesty and because it had happened before with Brian, and she just kept saying she forgot. She got upset that I didn't take her word for it and said I was grilling her. I truly don't believe she ever cheated or would ever, but I wanted the full story because they're close to this day and I found out so late. She said I was grilling her and got mad at me, saying she can't help she forgot. How should I go about moving forward? Edit, posted somewhere else but got deleted. I'm new so I don't have the best grasp on rules yet. Below are some things I added for clarity. I do want to say this, she is an amazing partner overall. We just have different ideas on what to communicate. Edit 2. Another one of the reasons she was upset is because she said it never amounted to anything, so I was essentially making too big a deal of it. Edit 3 for clarity because of some comments. It's not at all that she has a history. We all do, so it's no biggie in that aspect. It's that us telling each other these things was a boundary we had for each other that was not kept up in this circumstance. Story 3. My GF broke up with me. We were dating for 1 year and 4 months, me 26M, my ex 23F. 1 month ago she broke up with me. I tried to find out why, she just stated is uncertain of what she's feeling. She said, I only regret the 4 mistakes that I've done in this time of relationship. 1. First mistake was I didn't introduce her to my friends. Which raised kinda a red flag for her. But there is a thing, that she is very shy around new people. I knew her very well, and once I did introduce her to 2 of my friends, everything was fine, but afterwards when I asked her how did you feel around my friends? She replied I didn't felt too well, cause they didn't take me into account that much, I felt marginalized. From then I tried to control everything around me and her. She has this thinking that she will be judged wrong about new people around her. I tried to protect her. But sadly in the end she thought that I don't want to introduce her to my friends and she was thinking that I keep her only for time and for my satisfaction. All I wanted was to protect her from bad judgments. 2. Second mistake was, she was very skeptical of me that I would cheat on her. I don't blame her attitude cause she had 1 relationship before me and didn't went that good. I didn't want to ask that much from her past though. Like I was saying, from her likely paranoid behavior, she took my phone and went through all my messages. Of course she didn't find anything, except for one thing that we sorted it out and was my university colleague. She also looked at my TikTok likes and saw that I liked few TikTok short videos of girls. I tried to explain that I was very sorry and she was developing security issues, that she is no good for me, that she looks ugly and with big nose and so on. From that time I took all the blame and felt very sorry about what I did. 3. My third mistake was, when we held arguments between us, I was the only one that ran away from fights. OFC, I didn't dodge her for days or weeks. I just wanted to clear my mind and come back within 30-40 minutes to discuss. I did it several times, but the last time I was very sorry and told her that I will change and wanted I prove it with facts. She always tells me when I do this that I always run from problems. 4. My fourth mistake. At some point in our relationship she asked if I look at PRN movies when we're apart. OFC, I told her the truth and said yes. She kinda got upset and we discussed. She told me that I didn't want to look at PRN movies cause I respect you. At that point I felt really bad about it and told her that I won't make you feel like you don't deserve me, or betray you with somebody else. After a few weeks we went on vacation and she decided to look in my phone again. She opened TikTok and went through my liked videos and saw a few TikTok with girls. After that she got really upset and we went on a pretty bad fight. At some point we calmed down and she told me now I feel insecure and I don't think that I'm enough for you. And I told her that I cannot deny that I see other people beautiful, but that doesn't mean that I love them or I want to betray you with them. If you did the same thing, that you like other men or looking at PRN, I wouldn't get that mad as long as you love me. When we arrived from our trip after a few weeks I saw a notification Tinder logo on top of her screen. I told her what's up with this notification, I know it's Tinder, can I look into? She gave me her phone and it was my first time looking at her phone and it was Tinder, but she had a completely random photo, random name and random age. She told me that she installed it so that she can spy me if I got Tinder. I was amazed. Told her I don't want to betray you, but she still doesn't believe me and broke up with me on. Told me that she felt distant. I begged her that she is making a mistake, and stated that I still love her and wanted to get over this obstacles together. I cried in front of her when she gave me the news. It was a tough day. She said that she will help me get over the pain and sorrow, but of course I told her she is making it worse. I told her that I don't want to talk to her anymore. And that I don't want to be in friend zone. We kept seeing each other. I tried to go to her university once, cause she was dodging me and was rescheduling the dates. I waited outside the uni, to talk to her. But she perceived me that I stalk her to see if she is seeing another guy. I told her that she was dodging me, that's why I came up. Now she is scared that I'm stalking her. She said that now if you did this, I don't know what you're capable of, and I'm afraid. It's this relationship salvageable? I want to know how if it's doable. Sorry for my bad English, not my main language.